Terry and Hassam, do you think if found guilty, they will take away City's trophies? And do you both think they should be taken away?
He thinks yes. Jim, I agree with you. Despite you telling me I'm waffling about Spurs and I need a shag, even though I didn't talk about Spurs. Yes, I agree with you. They should be stripped. They should be taken away. Just like the Juve title was taken away for a referee scandal. If you're caught cheating, then definitely your titles need to be taken away. And by the way, I keep the same energy. If you guys want to give, for example, the Oli year where he finished second, if you want to give the title to Man United, I have no problem with it. Because factually speaking, the team in first cheated. Now, if you want to just have it as a null and void, I also have no problem with it. This is not me making a case for Liverpool winning more titles. Like, it's not like tomorrow, give all the trophies to Liverpool or give all the trophies to Man United or to Arsenal or to whoever. I couldn't care less who gets the trophies. I'm speaking generally here. Like, listen, I asked the chat and they all 90% of them said guilty anyway. Like, we all know deep down.
Yeah, I look at it that way. I'm not that fussed as to whether or not the second place teams in those Premier League years get the trophies.
Same.
I do think, again, if the severity of the guilt is huge, hundreds of millions pumped in via breaking the rules, built these brilliant squads, conspiracy, fraud, etc., then yes, I think the trophies that those squads relate to, all those trophies should be removed from them. They probably obviously can't do the UEFA Champions League because this is an FA stroke Premier League situation, but I absolutely think they should be taken away. Because otherwise you're essentially turning around and saying you can cheat the system, build a brilliant squad, win everything, get deducted 50 points. So you have one bad year and then you're back to normal. All that's going to do is make everybody else start cheating. Because listen, you'd have City's last 7 years to have a 50-point deduction. You'd still survive in the Premier League, by the way, if you're Man City, right? You know, have 1 year where you're not going to win anything. And then after that point, you're back to your best. Yeah, they've got to do it.
And by the way, you know what it is? You know why it doesn't matter whether the second place team gets the trophy or not? Because essentially, all City's trophies now mean nothing. No City fan can tell me I won 6, 7 Premier Leagues. Hamza can't waffle. No one can say anything. It just everything that they've done over the last 10 years gets removed. And no one, and anytime they speak to someone, all I have to say is cheats, guilty, 115, done.
Frankie here says, if the titles are taken away and given to the second place teams, how shameless will you both be? I need a joint parade organized.
Let's go. Hey, I'm ready. And you know what it is? I actually found this out. Even if all the second placed clubs get the trophies, United are still one trophy, one
head, yeah.
So like nothing changes. I think it's Man United will be on 23 and we'll be on 22 thing.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I look at it from the perspective of I don't necessarily want it because we didn't win it those years. However, this was put to me by another United fan a while back. If City hadn't have done, say they're guilty, if they hadn't have done it, the landscape of football would have looked different. So Jose Mourinho building a team that got 85 points. Back in 2018, that was a lot of points. No one looked at that as being a bad level of points to get. Therefore, we wouldn't have looked at City as the benchmark of the best way to run your football club, the best way to invest. And maybe how we were operating would have felt very differently. So, yeah, you came second and finished 15 points behind City. It felt crap because you were nowhere near them. But if City weren't there, or they weren't performing at that level, you wouldn't have felt crap about 85, 86, 87, 90 points. So it becomes, you feel the way you feel about that season because you didn't win it. But if it hadn't have happened, your whole psyche would have been different. I don't personally want them to be awarded, but if they were, I'd accept them. Accept them. It's one of them ones. And yeah, it's one of them.
And you know the best one thing for me? Now I destroy all your arguments because there's one guy. If he gets a Premier League, it's done for all of you. It's done. If Steven Gerrard gets a Premier League because of 13-14, it's game over. For all of you, it's game over.
Dinkle here says charges until 2018. City will have 3 titles. Yeah, do you know what? They may. And again, we have to understand. That's why it's a very hard thing to talk about now, because you're right. But what if, still the core group was built. A lot of the core group was built before 2018. But a lot of the money you've been generating since 2018 is because of the success under the years that you have allegedly cheated. So again, the way it works in other scenarios, if I've built a business, if I have a legitimate business that's now making £1 million profit a year, but we're 10 years in. But the first 3 years of that business, we raised the money by doing money laundering for a drug dealer. Even though now the business is legitimate, every asset I own and have owned from that business, all the money I've made from that can be taken away by the police.
Yes.
So I know this is not a criminal
foundation is
situation.
not-
So yeah, we don't know. You could find that the Premier League goes, we're taking everything because the whole foundation was built upon fraud. So we just don't know yet. We just don't know is the actual answer, but they could still have 3. Imagine all done United end up the only treble team. You know, that'd be nice, you know what I mean? But yeah, listen, cheating should never prosper. Agree on the Chelsea situation, although not sure I agree with you ending up with Pep being a mid-level manager.
Okay, so basically, just so I explain, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Sometimes you take ideas from other people. I took the idea from the Terrace to allow people to super chat people to different tier lists. I done a Premier. So basically, he's talking about my Premier League list. I done a Premier League managers list this season. I put Klopp first, Pep second. It's just based on this season. Poch third, and I ranked them. So City fans, because they wanted me to get cooked, City fans super chatted Pep down tiers. So I went and I posted on my community page, and Pep is in 15th. Like, so it's not my fault, you guys. At least I put him second. The guy super chatted him to 15th. It's not my fault.
I love it. We haven't done a tiering session like that on the Terrace for a long time. I think I'm going to bring them back soon. I ain't done one for about a year now. I love those shows. They've been great.
The national break, March.
Yes, Sister Ross, in athletics across the board, if the winner is found to have cheated, the athlete who came second is promoted to first. The downside is no ceremony. Yeah, look, I know they do it in other sports. I just don't know. There's not a precedent for it in England in modern day history. So what did they do in Italy when Juve's were stripped? Did they give them to the
Inter were awarded that league title? I think so.
Okay.
Yes, 2006. When you say, let me actually just search it quickly because I'm sure 2006 Serie A winner. I think it does show Inter. Yep, Inter. While Juventus were originally the first place team, this title was put sub judice due to their involvement with the Calciopoli scandal, with Inter instead declared champions by the Italian FA on July, thus winning the title for the first time in 17 years. So Inter got awarded the title.
Yes. Oh, okay. That was in 06.
Yes, that's the cheating scandal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because AC Milan cheated as well, right? First and second.
Yep.
So that's what I mean by it changes your perspective. So in that season, Milan got 76 points, Juve got 91 points. So most Inter fans in the season would have felt like we're nowhere near the title winners. But then when you find out they've cheated to win, suddenly your 76 points doesn't sound so bad, because if the landscape had been honest and open and fair, maybe you wouldn't have got any more points, but maybe Juve would have got 10 points less. So suddenly only being 4 or 5 points away from the winners would have made you feel completely different about your season. So yeah, it just needs to be looked at. A guilty is commercial suicide for City. Yeah, they'll be finished. If they're guilty of this to the nth degree, the club could be done. Which, by the way,
and
I also don't
want to fans will all go back to supporting Arsenal and Liverpool and Chelsea.
Honesty here with the super chat. He didn't say anything, but said another one here. Thank you so much for the brilliant donations and everyone that super chatted today. You're amazing. It says, I can't pronounce the name, but I get you.
Carlo Inacio
has rejected an offer from Newcastle as he is currently waiting for Liverpool. Real Madrid, Man United, and Liverpool have already reached out to his agents, but they aren't likely to pay his 52 million release clause this month.
I think this whole FFP thing, by the way, is stopping kind of a few of our clubs from sending money.
It's stopping everybody from buying. Where's this report come from? Where's this report come from, Honesty? I haven't seen it anywhere else. I wouldn't be surprised if he's waiting. I mean, it's with respect to not Aston Villa, to Newcastle. If you know Real Madrid and Liverpool, and to a degree Man United are waiting around, don't make the decision now to leave. Wait until the summer, bro. 6 months isn't going to change your life. Maria Williams here says the issue would be the clubs who didn't make the Champions League or the ones who were relegated. Surely there are so many knock-on effects. But you are right, Maria Williams. That's why it could be the end of City. Because say they are found guilty of widespread fraudulent corruption and everything else, there's so many legal claims that could be labeled against them that it could end up putting the club completely and utterly out of business. They could completely be liquidated. So that's why it's crazy. Yeah, as you've seen, teams that missed out on Champions League spots. It isn't just, the FA Cup winners being changed, but what about the teams they knocked out the FA Cup that could say, well, if we would have beaten them in round 3, we could have gone on to more rounds and earned that money. And all these things become legitimate claims if indeed they've built a squad through ill-gotten gains. So there's so many ramifications of a guilty. There really is. Thank you, Tony. That's 8 months as a member, you absolute legend. Lengen Sweet says, cheats or not cheats, I love the owners. The aim of elite sports is to win. Whether you cheat or
the aim of elite sports is to win, and there is something called winning the right way, and there's something called building yourself from the bottom. Luton Town could build themselves from the bottom to become Premier League champions in 3 years from now. There is something I disagree with, like, people who claim everyone should have the same standards. No, I disagree with that. Luton Town shouldn't have the same standards as Manchester United. Of course not. But Luton Town could aim to win the league in 3 years if they build their team the right way. They make 2, 3, 4, 5 right transfers, correct transfers, raise money, through, like, there's multiple ways to win the Premier League, by the way. You just have to make correct decisions.
I look at it this way. Sorry to interject right at the end. I'm sorry. I look at it this way. I've heard a lot of, not all, but a lot of City fans. I've heard Lee Gunner say that, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, essentially. Cheating is fine as long as you're trying to win. I hope that energy is kept if it turns out that Man United, who are their rivals, match fix a game that beats them. I hope that if it turned out that Man United beat them in the FA Cup final this year, but we paid the referee, would City fans really come out and say, I don't care that Man United pay the referees. They're doing anything to win. We're accepting. Are you really telling me, Man City fans, if you got beat to a Premier League title and it turned out that Liverpool's team were injecting themselves with steroids to get over the line, you'd say it's fine they took banned substances to win because they're only trying to win? No, I don't know where this suddenly come from. And maybe it's Langan Sweet's a legend of this channel. I respect him to bits. But I've seen a lot of people tweet this recently, and I think society's breaking down, where we're simply saying that no form of cheating is unacceptable as long as it's in the pursuit of winning. The whole point of winning is to do it without cheating. Otherwise, it doesn't feel right. If you cheat to win, and do you know what's funny? I was playing darts with my brother the other day. We're playing this game called Bob 27, where you start on 27 points, you got to hit doubles, and if you drop below 0, you're out the game. And me and my brother are messing. There's a couple of times where he's out the room, and I'm like, I could just stick one in a double right now to get extra points. But I don't do it because even though I'd get more points than him and beat him, I know I haven't really won. I want to beat my brother through actually beating my brother. It doesn't feel right. I've done it as a kid. I did this twice, and both times I did it, I felt empty. I played Football Manager, and I get to a Champions League final, and I'd save it before the final, and if I lost, turn the computer off. Play it again. I won. And twice I did that. I was only young. And honestly, I didn't celebrate winning it because I cheated. It doesn't feel right. If you've ever cheated to succeed, it has never, ever, ever felt good. And I'm talking in sport here. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if your kids are, someone's going to go mad soon. Yes, if your kids are starving, you've got no money, and you steal some food, I don't expect that to make you feel bad so much as they're eating. But we're not talking about something as extreme as that. We're talking about sports. There's no way you've cheated in sport and you've been happy about it. You can't do unless there's something broken in your brain. And I'm not about you, Lang and Sweet. I know it's only a super chat, but I see a lot of people say these days, you've got to cheat. Cheating is part of winning. It's crazy. How many fake news you bring? I know this story about City is, well, it's not fake. Credible journalist has put this all on the internet, my friend. You can call it fake if you want, but that's just your feelings there, bruv. That's just your feelings. This here says, to be fair, the only team I want to see relegated is my Barcelona. Why? Because I had enough. I had enough because of losing and our money troubles. Why do you want to get relegated, though?
Regulated, she said.
Oh, regulated. Sorry, I thought she said relegated. Sorry.
Debbie's had enough of Barcelona.
Yeah, she wants her own club sanctioned. Afternoon, if City get stripped of all their titles, Henderson will become the greatest Liverpool Premier League captain with their 3 titles, and Mo Salah becomes a GOAT.
I disagree with both takes. I disagree.
Well, no, because then Steven Gerrard gets a Premier League winners medal.
Yes.
See? So it changes. It changes.
Yes. For me, Gerrard's the GOAT, by the way, for me still. Even above Mo Salah. I put Gerrard
Mo Salah, legend.
Nope. Gerrard's number 1.
You're just bigoted against a person like Mo Salah.
No. Oh, look at this guy. Bigoted. We're the same race.
You don't like him. You don't like him. You're jealous of my Mo. My Mo. I love Mo. I saw everyone slagging him off last night. Like, oh, he ain't this great player. He ain't. I'm like, you lot are so hating on this guy. The hate that Mo Salah gets is crazy to
people
me.
claim shit that they do not know. First of all, Mo Salah got injured. How are you cooking a player for getting injured? Second of all, as soon as he got injured, there was substituted. Ghana scores. Like the moment he sits on the bench, Ghana scores. The first thing that happens 2 minutes later is a Ghana goal. And the third thing is, you see people who don't know about certain stuff. If you ask me right now about River Plate and Boca Juniors, I'll say I do not know. Guys, it's okay to say you don't know African football, you don't watch it. This is the weakest Egyptian generation we have seen in a really long time. And yesterday, for the people who go like, the Egyptian people are never going to respect Mo Salah, blah, blah, blah. Yesterday, I went on TV. You guys don't speak Arabic, most of you. I speak Arabic. I was watching Egyptian TV yesterday. And the guy went on TV and was defending Mo Salah. I can play the clip right now in Arabic. None of you would understand it, but he was defending him. He was like, we actually looked worse when he came off. The only reason they attacked is because they conceded a goal. People don't understand. Egypt are going through serious trouble. Ahmed Higazi is getting cooked as a defender for Al Ittihad in the Saudi League, and he's starting due to politics. El Neni, who doesn't even play a game for Arsenal, starts for Egypt in 2024, and you want to blame Mo Salah?
Where he might be injured. I thought he was Egyptian. I could have got this so wrong. The fullback who plays for Wolves.
Who? El Mohammedi, you mean?
Not Mohamed. It might. I swear
that guy he retired.
No, I swear there's an Egyptian player that plays for Wolves.
Nouri is not Egyptian.
Is he not? Is he not? Oh
no, Nouri is Algerian, not Egyptian.
I was Algerian. Sorry, again, yeah, my mistake. I swear I heard someone say he was. You know, sometimes people just say stuff. I thought someone said he was. Fair enough, because I looked at the lineup and didn't see him on the bench. That's why, because he's not Egyptian.
And by the way, last AFCON I said Senegal was going to win it. This AFCON, I think Morocco are stronger than them. Algeria are stronger than them. Senegal are stronger. Not like there's multiple.
Well, you would think with what Morocco did at the World Cup only 12 months ago, they're surely one of the favorites for this year.
Yes, they're the biggest favorite right now in Africa. 100%. They are the favorites, and rightfully so. So look, man, Egypt aren't good enough to win a thing, and it's not his fault. Like it's just people are blaming Salah. It's just so weird, bro. Like the guy got injured and you're blaming him. Have some shame.
Man United and the Premier League and the rest of the clubs are not all innocent. Listen, bro, if you show me evidence of Man United doing these things, you think I've cooked City or gone for other clubs? You wait what I do to my own club. I would be harsher on my own club. It's like if there's 3 children throwing bricks at windows and one of them's my child, I'm going to be so much harder on my child than anybody else's. People, things, or clubs, or anything I love or care about, I'm far more angry. When I worked in banking and the banking scandals came out, I was far more embarrassed, even though some of our wrongdoings weren't as big as other banks, far more embarrassed when the bank I worked for did things. I was far angrier when who I worked for, who represented me, did things wrong. So if I'm a Man United fan and we've done what City's done, I'm going in. I'm going to get to a point where no one is going to let me into Manchester because for my own safety, I'm going to go in on that football club. So, yeah, listen, self-policing is the only way. I wouldn't be a hypocrite about it. I just never have been like that.